And it really does depend on what's happened, because sometimes you forget these memories. But there's been a couple, and one of them was, I don't know, call me crazy, but I felt that I had a connection with the lion back at Entebbe, and I was there for about 3.5 years, and I honestly believe from the day I had a game drive with her, it was actually one of my first drives by myself. Are you alright, Patrick? Okay, just listening.
Well, it looks like it's banging. Yeah, it sounds like it.
You're going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
And I was driving it. It was my very first, or one of my very first game drives with guests, and it was actually one of my very first lion sightings by myself. And I drove down, we went to find the lions, and we ended up pulling into the sighting. And I remember the little boy needing the toilet, and he was just about to climb out. She sat next to me, and the little boy was trying to climb out, and I kind of grabbed him. Both me and his mother sort of grabbed him before he could try and climb out next to the lions to go to the toilet. So we had to leave the sighting and let him go to the toilet and then come back in. But by the time we came back in, the lions had disappeared into the bush. And it was getting late, and I was saying to my guests, okay, we are going to have to start heading back. It is getting late now. We were really gutted that we weren't able to see them too well. And we were checking with the spotlight, because it was getting dark at that stage. And we were waiting and waiting and waiting, nothing. So eventually it turned on, started moving, stopped just to make sure. And the female, she got up, walked out of the bush, and her two little cubs that had been seen only the once before, that day before, she had them sitting in front of us, suckling the cubs maybe about 5 or 7 meters away. Then she got up and walked back into the bush, and I swear to you, I felt she was actually showing us her cubs. I don't know if that's what she was doing, I really don't know, but one of the very first game drives that I had with her, that's what happened. One of the other game drives that I had with her, and I think it was actually my first time to come across her, I actually had her sort of growling at me about 30 meters away, so I stopped and pulled back, and she settled down. And I said to somebody, okay, just be careful, this female's a little bit aggressive, but hey, I was a student, what did I know? And this guy totally ignored me, drove right in next to me, right up to her. First of all, you don't do that to lions, you don't pull in so quickly, and you don't pull in straight head onto them, that's a direct threat. And she growled, she charged at him. The guests were wide-eyed, he backed off, and I think from that day she realised that I respected her, and I think that's why she respected me enough to show me her cubs. And she's not done it once, she's done it twice. The second set that she had, that she actually showed the cubs, and I think I was there for one of the very first meetings of the cubs with the rest of the pride, and we were sat there watching the pride. And just as she left, as we were sat there watching them, and she brought the cubs back, and as I say, no one had seen them beforehand, and she was there, she brought them, she came out from behind the bush, stood there, we took our pictures, and then she went back into this side of the bush where she sat down and started giving them milk. What are you looking at, mister? Looking, you can see his stance, so I think it might be another impala. You could just see his stance, he was very sort of very prominent, his chest was out, standing up straight. I think it could have been another impala there. I just want to have a quick check of this wheel, Patrick.
Okay.
It looks like the wheel nuts are fine. I just wanted to have a quick check. The last thing we want is the wheel falling off. So thank you very much for that question. As I say, that's one of the few memories I had, but as I say, I'm very much a cat person, and I do believe in respect to all the animals, as I'm hoping that you guys will pick up, and hence why I was giving Karula a little bit of space there, just so that we didn't push her off the road. And I know the animals here are very used to the vehicles, but at the same time, for me, it's very important for them to sort of get used to me, get used to hearing my voice and associating me with all being calm. And that to me is very, very important. And I really do believe, from what I've seen in my guiding experience, it does make a difference, and animals can and do recognize different sounds from different engines and different people. Whether it's the sound or the smell or the sight, I definitely believe it. And I've had a few close shaves as well. But as I say, it's always helped me just to speak to the animals, and they've kind of realised, okay, she's nothing to worry about, and they've backed off. I'm a firm believer in that's what's happened in the past. And if anybody would like to relive the moment where we did have a close shave with the female elephant the other day, then I'm going to be discussing that a little bit further on the Fireside Chat on Sunday, where we have the highlights, and we take some highlights from the week. We're not going to be doing the Safari TV diaries showing them. You'll be able to see them on YouTube and Facebook, so you'll still be able to see them and catch up with them. But we're going to be doing the show slightly differently with them. As I say, we'll take 3 or 4 highlights and discuss them a little further, and that's definitely going to be my highlights from this week. Okay, so we're going to head back towards Gowrie Dam, back up towards Buffles Hook Dam, and try and catch up with the hippo before we lose too much more of the light. So we'll head back down. The hippo in the dam, they're having fun. Okay, well apparently the hippo in the dam are playing around a little bit at Gowrie Dam, so we might just make a pit stop there and have a look. Okay. Yeah, let's have a question. Hey, Caroline from Missouri. I'm glad to see you on board again. Hope you enjoyed the game drive this morning. I think you were there this morning. And you're with us again this afternoon, so that's great to hear as well. And you're just asking, do we drive the vehicles with guests in, or is it just our own vehicles? And we do only drive our vehicles. We don't do any driving out of the lodges. So it's just Jigger, and it'll be the new vehicle as well. But when we get the new vehicle up and running, I'm not too sure when that's going to be at the moment, but that does have a seat next to us, so we can actually take maybe an expert with us on a drive, maybe do a bit of a chat as we're driving with them, and hopefully take them with us. But for paying guests, we don't drive paying guests anymore. All of us at one stage were guides with guests, so we've all had the guiding experience with guests. Myself, most of my guiding has been up in the Waterberg in Entebbe, and that was for just over 3.5 years. I worked my way up from being a student guide up to head ranger. I was head ranger for just over 1.5 years, and worked my way up through the guiding levels. And in guiding, you go to a ranger guiding school, and generally you can do a month or 6 months. And if you do the 6 months course, they generally will place you to do work experience for 6 months in a lodge, and there you'll be a student guide, still taking out guests, still having that responsibility. And if you're any good, they might take you on so that you can continue working there, and that's exactly what happened to me. I stayed, got myself a work visa, being from the UK, and yeah, I worked my way up through the ranks and enjoyed the area very, very much. It was very different to the Sabi Sands, but you do get to that stage where you do need to have a new challenge, a new area. And what's been absolutely fantastic for me here is the interactions with the animals. And whereas Entebbe, we didn't see leopard very often. I saw 8 in 3.5 years. Lions lions I've had a lot of contact with, and I understand lions to a certain degree, but here we had the possibility of lions coming in from all angles, whereas Entebbe we only had the one pride. We also only had 2 herds of elephants. So for me to have the possibility of elephants walking in and driving down the road and bumping into more elephants is absolutely phenomenal. So rhino also, I managed to have a lot of contact with the rhino, so I learned a lot about rhino as well. So yeah, as I say, it's something as a guide you continually want to grow, you want to expand your knowledge, and what I love about Safari TV is that you guys ask so many different questions that sometimes you don't get from guests, because you're only there for maybe 1, 2, 3 days, and maybe it might be the first time in Africa, so these more in-depth questions don't always come to you, but obviously if you watch fairly regularly on Safari TV, you might start thinking about these different things, or what if you watch the documentaries at home, you think, oh, I'd like to ask that. So you actually start to learn a lot more, and that's why I really enjoy the questions as well. And if I don't know the answer, I won't try and make up anything. I will tell you I don't know the answer, because to me, finding out the truth is more important, or the right information. And if I am wrong, if I realise that I'm wrong on drive, I'll always say on my Facebook page, okay, I was slightly off on that one, I've forgotten it wrong or whatever, which sometimes happens if you don't utilise the information. And obviously learning from you guys as well is always great. Someone sent me through a picture of a blue jay this morning, which was really nice. And I've always wanted to see a picture of one of those, and I don't have the books. And it was really nice, someone actually sent me through that picture, and there was a few flowers as well that people have sent through, and information as well. And we all know different things, and that's what I think is brilliant. And if we interact and we send through information and ask questions, then we all get to share the knowledge, which is awesome. Yeah. Cool, that sounds great. We're just coming up to the dam now, but hopefully you guys can get to see the hippos playing a little bit. I'm just going to find out what the status is with the leopard sighting as well, so just bear with me. Station with the Ingwave Tower. Thank you very much, Robert. Station with the Ingwave Tower. No worries. Sorry to bother, is there any space in the Ingwave lock? I will pull up no, Matata, I've been in the lock. If you want to stay a bit longer, you're more than welcome.
No problem, Cam. I've been here for a while.
Copy that. Are they still on Hyena?
No, they're going north on Dari cut line.
Copy that, thank you. Got one coming to see what we're about. So we don't think this is Bob, it just looks a little bit too big. Myself and Jared guesstimated about 8 to 9 months old for the youngster there. Remember, Bob's only about 2 months old. He was born on the 5th of March. Certainly looks like it is playtime for the hippo though.
Juma Dam.
Okay. Alright, thanks Daz for your question. I think you're still looking for Bush Lodge in the article you were looking at. I'm not too sure what the dam is called. I think that's what you're asking. Patrick seems to think it's Juma Dam. But I'll see if I can ask the guys when I see them. And I'll let you know. Oh, it's Juma Dam. Okay. Well, you were saying that and you were looking unsure about it.
No.
Okay, we've been invited into the leopard sighting again. So what we're going to do is move on because we are losing the light. So I'm wanting to try and get to the leopard for you again before we lose the light. And, oh, hippo roll. I think what we can do.
This is Brian, I'm pulling up English starting, leading Bernie and Graham on lock.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, I'm going to leave the hippos. I wonder if, Kath, maybe you could put the hippos in a split screen for us so the guys can still watch them while we're driving to try and get to the leopard, so they're not missing out on any action. That'll be awesome, thank you. And obviously what we were saying earlier, we're going to be swapping over to the night camera. But I think while we still have a bit of light, I think we'll stay with this camera if that's okay until probably about 15-20 minutes time, when it gets much darker. Let's see if we can catch up with the leopard. We've made the way down towards Gowrie Cut Line now, so that's the next road just up ahead of us. So I'm just going obviously a little bit faster than what you guys are used to. Obviously with me I think you're a bit more used to it, but I have been dropping my speed as much as possible. The reason being, I've been so used to driving on a 22,000 hectare reserve. So normal game drive speed for us was 20 kilometers. Now obviously that looks incredibly fast on your screen. So I think we drive maybe, what did you say, Patrick, about 5k sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's been quite an adjustment for me. Because obviously on the 20,000 hectare reserve, if you drive at 5 kilometers, yes, you see a lot, but you don't necessarily get too far. And if you've only got one pride of lions and you know they're in the south, then you need to kind of move to try and get there. So it's quite an adjustment for me. And as I say, I only joined Safari TV in March. But as I say, I'm slowly getting there. I'm hoping there is still another vehicle with them, otherwise it's going to be quite interesting trying to relocate them. But I think they might be making their way down towards Gowrie Dam. They said they were moving north on Gowrie Cut Line. I'm not too sure how far up on Gowrie Cut Line. It sounded like there was another couple of vehicles with them. So it seems we haven't seen them for so long. But I wonder if she's come to collect Mishu to take him to a kill again. But she definitely looked like she was on a mission to find him. And I wonder if they're going through to Gowrie Dam to try and maybe pick up Induna. Because I still think he may be around there. Just saw the flash. Hi Linda, welcome aboard. And you're just asking, do hippos give birth in water on land or on land? And they tend to find a shallow pool to give birth in and around, and that's possibly why the female hippo came to Gowrie Dam. So I think there is an area where it's fairly shallow for obviously the baby, and I think it was actually caught on camera. I think she actually squirted it out, but I can't remember if it was done on land or in the water. But as far as I can remember, it's in the water, but feel free to correct me if I am wrong on that one. I'm not 100% sure. I know they do find the shallow pools. But if anyone watching was witnessing the birth of Bob, which quite a few viewers were, then I'm sure that would help us. Apparently he shot out like a little bullet. Did you see it? Did you see the birth?
No, I didn't see the birth, no.
No. Okay, we have them just up ahead. And it's still just the two of them by the looks of it. Looks like Mishu is actually starting to, he's the one on the right, and he's lifting up his tail. Looks like he's actually scent marking. As I say, I think so he's now swapped over, he's now on the left. I just say we take credit for finding them. Today we do. Hello. How's it? How you guys doing? Good. Good, thank you. Sorry?
Yeah.
You guys gonna follow as well? I'm just saying a quick hello to Graham. And Graham, who does the baboon research, also guides for Voyatella. So he has a few guests today. Have to swap to the night camera. Graham is still following. Let's see if we can maybe go around the side here. I'm hoping I don't find any holes, so hold on. A bit of a vehicle ballet going on here. Try and get a shot there. There's Karula. And Mishu looks like he's slightly taller than Karula now. Actually, Kath, I think someone was actually saying about that. I remember now you're trying to send me through some information about her possibly being dwarfed by the cubs. Is it possible just to try and find that information again? So I think I was having a bit of problem. I think you were trying to send through some information about Karula possibly being dwarfed by the cub. I think you were trying to send me something through, and then we had a bit of a problem trying to move the vehicles for everybody, so I didn't copy it. Is it possible to try and look for it? It was fairly early on. it's just before we found Floppy Ear. There you go, there's Karula looking straight at us, and we've got Mishu just behind her. You can see his coat's actually a lot more yellow than hers is. And she's roughly about 6 years old now. And look at the length of her tail, she's got a very, very long tail. No, don't run off, come back. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Kelvin. Remember, your information was trying to come through about having trouble hearing it at the time as well. Thank you. So yeah, you're just saying that you also think it possibly could be with her being small because of the cubs that she had in 2006, and she was only 2 years old at that stage. So that's sort of the youngest really that female leopards can be when they have cubs. So it could possibly be that. It looks like they've gone into the drainage line here. Copy that, thank you.
What's your name, please? It's Bernie here from Torture.
Hi Bernie, it's Tara here.
Nice to meet you, Tara. We'll be in touch. Have a lucky evening.
It's good to meet you too. I'm glad you enjoyed the lock. Thank you very much. It looks like they have gone into the drainage line. Nobody else is left, but I still think that Induna is going to meet up with them at some stage. Because I'm wondering if that's why they've been hanging around here. I wonder. They might... Do you know of any pathways that they use regularly, Patrick? Is there one that they may use here and pop out further up?
Yeah, just on the eastern side of Mlowatia.
Oh, so they'll go that way rather than coming up?
And, yeah.
Or do you think they might use the fire break?
Yeah.
So to come up through the drainage line and then come out onto the fire break?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If they do go into the dip here, there's a very beautiful gully erosion system on the eastern back of Mlowatia. That's where they often
go out. And there isn't any way for us to get in there, is there?
No, it's really thick, yeah.
Very, very thick.
Yeah, during the day it's better, but at night
okay.
You may not make it.
So I'm just wondering what the likelihood of them popping up behind us is, or whether we go and sit on that fire break. Well, I think because it's getting dark now as well, and we said we were going to swap the cameras over about 5:30, which is what it is now. So if that's alright with you, Kath, should we swap the cameras over, and then we can go into the night vision camera and see if we can relocate these leopard for everybody. I think we sometimes do get a bit of break up along Gowrie cut line. I do remember it breaking up a little bit along here. Cool, alrighty. Okay, Patrick, keep a lookout for a leopard behind me. Wow. Alright everybody, so I hope everybody enjoyed at least seeing the leopard through the daytime for a bit and obviously seeing floppy ear. I think we had the best view of them by the sounds of it, and obviously we got to get the meeting and greeting of the leopard and all that behaviour as well, which was a real treat for me. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it as well. So do stick around. What we're going to do is change the night camera so that we can start seeing as the sun is setting, because we're not going to see too much from now really with this camera. It's going to be very difficult. So we're going to swap over so we have the night camera, and hopefully we'll go through to about 6:30 with that. So we're not going to go too far, we're just going to swap it over. Probably be about 5 minutes or so for us to do that. So quick chance for you guys to go and grab a cup of tea or go and grab a toilet break, and we'll be right back with you. So don't go too far, and keep those questions coming as well. So I'm just going to say goodbye for the end of the afternoon safari before we go into the night safari.
Cheerio.
Hello everyone, Catherine in Final Control. Hope you enjoyed the afternoon's drive with us, and fantastic to see the two leopards again. What a wonderful drive to actually catch up with them and see them and spend some time with them, which is great. So stick around. We're hoping to try and relocate them if possible where we are at the moment. And as Tara mentioned, we're just swapping over cameras. So bye for now, but see you in a couple of minutes.
But people get warned, you know, not to go in the water. Falls Bay, you know, they take down those tourists. They don't. And our tourists, these people make holes in the clothes and pop it in there. Huh? Yeah. I feel like everything other than a pig. What was bigger than yours? Oh yeah, was it? Right, black man? Yeah. Oh, we've got the blue citizen. What do you guys? Put it all on our Yeah, exactly right. Trying to get them to give them a kill. Well, they beat South Africa and South Africa beat Australia. 6-1. That's first in all. Oh, is it? Oh, I filmed it. I saw it. I wasn't going for South Africa though. I wasn't supporting them. You watch it last night, mate? Yeah, I watched it. I must have been watching the recording last night. I was watching New Zealand, and you tell it. They showed me this vaccine in New Zealand. And New Zealand got 147. They were legal over. And then they never showed me that England getting another one off. You know? I don't know who won that. But England didn't have to put New Zealand on a final. phone to Romania. Does nobody knows where he is? Well, I heard this morning on the news that they are not going to deport them famous European countries. In one of them. Well, well, these countries, I think Spain has quality of life has improved now. The fact that well, I could tell you 10 years ago, and they're living a like their own. Now, when they're actually cut back, they don't like it. Especially if they are rich. Well, I think we're not in the Euro. What's the population of Australia? What's the biggest? Yeah. Might be 22 million. Yeah, they're not all bloody empty. No, not even. There's, well, I'm interested in this. There's 7 million people in the UK. And I'm 23 million. I'm second generation. All living over here now. In Spain. Takes a long time to get grass, doesn't it? Well, my favourite Australian state. Is West Hamilton. Queensland is great. just going high kick, so those lines. Listen to turn everything. Lines just listen. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sure. What line was he on? Yeah. Yeah, but when he stuck very, very young, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'm good with fingers, not numbers.
Hello everyone, we're going to be cutting back to the jigger very shortly, and we'll be going on night drive for a little while. Thanks for sticking around.
Alright, welcome back everybody. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Safari TV and here in Juma Game Reserve. We've just found this beautiful spotted hyena. We're going to see if we can follow it quickly. And myself, Tara, presenting, guiding you through the African bush. And we also have Patrick on camera. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to hear him now because he doesn't have a microphone. But he's there on camera helping us with the night camera. And we have Kath in Final Control. So if you have any more questions, then feel free to send them through to finalcontrol@safari.tv. Unfortunately, we just had a bit of problem with the head of the tripod trying to get the monopod, should I say, trying to get the camera on there. So we were a little bit longer than we anticipated, so apologies for that. We have been keeping a very good lookout for Karula and her boys. Obviously just earlier we had Karula meeting up with her son Mishu. And I'm just going to stop here and see if we can get the hyena again on the camera. It's going to run off. I'm hoping he's going to find Karula for us. Oops, sorry Patrick. Oh, we've gone a bit too far now. And as I say, hopefully we'll be able to catch up with them. And it looks like we might have a bit of a gremlin with the spotlight again. So let's see if we can get it going again. It was quite an interesting one because we had Karula. We met her on the way through on Central Road, and she came. Well, we met her on Central Road, and we watched her calling a couple of times. I was hoping that she might meet up with a suitor, but she went to call Mishu, who we haven't seen for a little while. And Induna, she still hasn't met up with as yet. And I'm pretty convinced that Induna is still around Gowrie Dam somewhere. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and meet up with them. So I just wanted to follow this hyena because it looked like he may have caught the scent of something. But I think he's just on a walkabout. So I was hoping we might be able to follow him to Karula and the boys. Just let me know when you need the light off. Now, for those of you joining us, sorry. Okay.
It's
Too far. For those of you joining us for the first time, you'll notice there's a difference in the camera. We no longer have the colour camera. This is the infrared camera that we have. We have to switch between the two to get the infrared camera working. But unfortunately, it has got its limitations. So we can't see. We have to get fairly close to the animals to actually see them with the infrared. But what this means is that we can switch off the lights and try and observe the animals without having the spotlight change their behaviour. I'll say it's quite nice, especially for predators. If they're hunting, then we can actually try and see what they're doing. I'm going to try and move my head out of the way. I think it may have. Coming back out again. So it gives you an idea of how the infrared should work. You need to put yours on. There you go. Now I thought I heard something just to the left of us, and I'm wondering if that's what the hyena's looking at as well. I'm still using the spotlight. The reason being it helps us to detect the animal's eyes. We get the shining back of the tapetum liridium. And I always manage to say it wrong, so apologies for that. But it's just the lining on the back of the eye, which helps a lot of the nocturnal animals to detect. There's definitely something going on there. Sorry, I just wanted to try and see what it was that it was running towards. And that layer on the back of the eye, on the retina, just shines back any of the light back to the eye to help the nocturnal animals see. And I think it went in here. I wonder if she's got a kill in here. I'm going to see if we can go in a little of the way and just see if we can poke our nose over the side here. Because that hyena definitely picked up the scent of something. Yeah, exactly. Last station send again? And that's a negative. We were still waiting for them. Yeah, we still have no visual of them yet. Gary Cutline.
I'm coming from Chita Katla now. Johnny to helping there as well. Thank you very much.
Copy, no matata. So something definitely caught his attention. But there's no way we are going to be able to follow in there. Not a chance. Which is a shame. It would have been quite fun to get in there. Mind your head. Okay, well I'm going to go a bit further up Gary Cutline. But I think she's in there, and I think she's got a kill in there. But I still think Induna is around Gary Dam.
So far still quite involved. I'm driving to the Darkatla and turning by for single come out on the block there, folks. The fish comes right away. That's another one involved and go stop.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions coming through. Alright, welcome aboard, Pat. Good to have you on board Jigger with us this evening. And you're just asking for my thoughts on Floppy Ear Hyena and the interaction with her and Karula and Mishu. Now, Karula definitely didn't want to stick around for Floppy Ear. And I think all Floppy Ear was doing was following them. I think she heard Karula calling and thought that if she followed Karula, then hopefully she might get some food there. I think someone's just calling me, so I'm just going to answer them quickly. Station calling target ahead. Might have been missed. So yeah, I think she was just following, hoping to see if there was a kill. I'm just wondering whether Karula does have something in here, because of that hyena, you could see walked right past us and then got to that tree, put the nose up in the air, and then caught sight of something or caught the smell of something. I think we're going to try down this bit of fire break here. Station calling target. Someone's calling someone, but I don't know if it's me that they're calling. It does, doesn't it? I don't know if he's calling me or not. Okay, I don't know if we're going to get signal breakup down here. I can't remember if I've been down here before or not. But as we were changing the... I think it might have done actually. Could you maybe just grab the spotlight for me for this bit? I just want to make sure we got it right with our... Oops. And our rules. There we go. Wow, it's beautiful in here though. Graham.
Driving right.
Were you calling me?
Yeah, not yet. I'm calling you back.
Copy.
Thank you.
Okay, how are we doing with the signal?
Where?
Okay, cool. So yeah, as we were changing the cameras over, we were keeping a very good look out for Karula coming out of the drainage line. Nothing as yet, so unfortunately it was breaking up quite badly in the dip, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to drive in on that side either. So I'm going to make a quick turn up towards Buffalo's Hook Dam, as we were trying to do earlier on before we bumped into Karula, and just see if there's any activity around there, and then head back towards Gowrie Dam. I think, Kath, did you say there was another question coming through? Okay. Okay, I didn't quite understand that one. Sam from England, you're just asking about the herd of elephants we've been seeing in the past couple of days, but I'm not too sure what the rest of the question was. Okay, just asking if we've seen them in the last few days. Quite possibly. I'm not too sure. I think there has been a few different herds coming through, so I'm pretty sure we would have seen maybe one of them at least a couple of times. The elephant that I had charging myself and Patrick the other day was definitely part of a herd that we saw the following day, and I think they possibly have made their way down through to Gowrie Dam at some stage. And then I think there was quite a big herd that Jared saw the other day on drive with Kath. Yeah, but but that wouldn't have been the same one that we saw. Okay, I'm wanting to go a bit further on. I like to pick the worst roads, don't I? I've just realised. Sorry, Pat. I said I'm trying to pick the worst roads by the looks of it. I don't mean to. Got something. Do you want me to grab the spotlight from you? Okay. Sorry? Okay. Pat's just picking something up in the spotlight. Oh, stay here. Do you want me to take the spotlight so you can have a look with the camera? You say it's... Okay. He was saying it's a Diker, but it's run away already. Okay, so we're just going to make our way up towards Buffalo's Hook Dam. We're on the fire break at the moment, and then we'll make our way back along Buffalo's Hook Cut Line towards Gowrie Main and just see if we can catch up with the leopard for the last couple of minutes but I think she may be in the drainage line for a little while now. But as I say, I'm still thinking maybe Induna might make his way out. I don't know about you guys, but that for me was very special to actually see her calling like she did. And you can see her getting down to the ground, and that's just to help to amplify the sound that they make. So obviously the sound will carry further, but obviously I think that did attract a hyena as well. So it can be beneficial, but it can also be quite harmful to them as well, attracting unwanted attention. So thank you very much, Sam, for your question on the elephants. As I say, I think it will be different herds that we've been seeing. But I say the easiest way is maybe try and look at the numbers and maybe try and see if there's the odd elephant that has some identifying features, like the elephant that charged me the other day had one tusk. So there's not many elephants like that. There is a bull, which I thought it was to begin with. Then it soon became apparent that it was a female. Okay, so we're coming up to the turning off for Buffalo's Hook Dam. Our destination a little bit delayed. Are you alright with the spotlight there, Patrick? Okay. It's always handy to have someone with a bit of elevation to have a look around for the animals. Okay, we have a question. Okay, thank you very much, Michelle in Colorado. And you'd like to know, do we ever carry any protection for us if there's any trouble? Well, the protection that we carry is actually our minds. And you may see some of the game viewers carrying rifles. But again, if you use your knowledge, of animals and you try and avoid any conflict to begin with, then that it should help you to avoid problems. And if you do encounter problems, then you always have the vehicle as well to protect you. And if there is a problem, you can use the vehicle to move away. And as I say, that's the most sort of powerful thing that you can take with you. But certainly your mind, to try and understand what the animals are telling you to begin with. Sorry? Ah. Just see. But yeah, as rifles are concerned, we don't carry anything like that with us on Safari TV. And to me, I'm actually quite glad of it. And what we have, or what I have heard elsewhere, is when, especially new rangers, student rangers, get given a rifle, and it's said to protect their guests, but actually it goes to the head a little bit, and they think that they can get closer to the animals than what they actually should do, because they have a rifle and they think that they can protect them. Whereas instead of using their brain and using the respect for the animals to keep a little bit of distance and let the animals come to them. So sometimes carrying a rifle is counterproductive. And as I say, I'm quite glad that the decision has been made for us not to carry one. I think it's more of a bonnet ornament. It is useful if you go walking into the bush, because obviously you don't have anything else to protect you, and that's the last thing that you can use. Otherwise you try and use a termite mound to hide behind, or you climb a tree, or as I say, 9 times out of 10 the animals will just use a warning charge rather than follow through a charge, so they're more likely to back away. And again, it depends on how you handle the situation, and you shouldn't have to use a rifle at all. So the most powerful thing that we have is our minds. It looks very quiet around here, hey Patrick? Please don't tell me that it's died.
Huh?
It hasn't died, has it?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking on the spotlight because it's having a bit of a gremlin. I think my gremlin Frank is back. And those of you who followed me on my first few drives, I definitely had a gremlin with me that was interfering with Jigger, I think, and not getting me on drives, and it was bringing the rain and everything. So, but he seems to have settled down a bit now, because he's frankly annoying. That's why I named him Frank. And then looks like there's no movement there whatsoever. Can I have the spotlight, Patrick? Okay, I'm gonna just turn around a little bit. Maybe the hippos have already left the water to go in search of food. Sorry?
Still I can hear them.
How can you hear them?
On the water.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if we can go the other side of the bush here. Because I thought I saw some rippling there just as you were saying that, actually. The other side looks very, very quiet. Ah! There they are. Hello, little hippo. Don't want to do that. I might actually see Bob a little bit out the water. I just want to try and park this side because there's quite a big rift here. I'm going to try and avoid it as much as possible. Avoid the sickle bush at the same time. There we go, you're going to be able to get them there. Can, that would be great. Say when you need the spotlight off. There we go. So the one in the screen now looks like it's the older one, and I think Bob was just to the left. And that looks like little Bob on the left there. We might be a little bit too far. Yeah, I can.
Is this too far? Is this on the far side of the sort of camera and the lights and
I don't know, would it make a difference if I put my spotlight on them? Yeah, I'm just using my spotlight because unfortunately the infrared light is just not strong enough to get to the other side of the bank. try and avoid shining into the eyes too much. And all the mothers are doing are just sitting there watching them. I can see him opening his mouth, and that's just to sort of mimic what he'll be doing or she'll be doing when she's older. Again, we still don't know if it's a he or she. Very difficult to tell male and female hippo apart, especially when they're this age. But they open their mouths in a yawning action just to try and show off their teeth. And obviously, the longer the teeth, the more stronger the hippo. The older the hippo, the larger the possibility of that hippo being, so the more threatening it can be. And it is a threatening display, so if you see a hippo opening its mouth, it's basically showing how big the teeth are and basically saying, don't bother messing with me. And obviously at the moment they haven't got much of a tooth to show. It's not stopping them showing it off, whatever it is that they've got there. The other one's probably about 3 or 4 months. Sure, time flies, eh? I think this is quite special, watching these two youngsters playing, and as I say, hopefully everybody's enjoying seeing Bob again, since we haven't seen Bob for probably about a week or so. As you can see, hopefully the size difference with this hippo, with the hippo that's in Gary Dam at the moment, we reckon the other one's roughly about 8 months, 9 months old. I think that 8-month-old probably is about twice the size, if not 3 times larger than Bob now. And again, that's what they'll do when they're older, as a test of strength. They'll use their teeth and lock the jaws like they're doing now. So they're basically doing what they would when they're older, just practicing building up their muscles, as I say, and that's why play is very important to all animals, for learning and for strengthening their muscles. I think he's got to be a little male. He's definitely got a lot of attitude. Okay, thank you very much, Elaine. You're saying that there was a hippo born, and I think you said February last year. Is that right? Yeah. I'm wondering if this could be who's playing with Bob now, and I don't think it is. I think this hippo playing with Bob is probably about, maybe even about 4 months old. It looks about twice the size of Bob, and the other one in Gary Dam at the moment is roughly about 8 months. So maybe, I think there was another one in Gary Dam that was a bit bigger, so maybe that could be the same one. that you're talking about that was born February last year. That was cheeky. Bob's run to mum. And I can see now looking at her, she's got a lot of pink on her like Bob's mum. I am pretty certain this is Bob and Bob's mother. I think some of you have been naming her Hippie. Shame, and the little ones run away. That was not fair. Yeah, now you've got the force of your mother behind you. Is a lot more braver. I've actually seen elephants do the same thing. One of the very first sightings I had with elephants, oh, it was so funny. I was watching from the balcony into a valley, and the baby elephant found, I think it was three buffalo, and he went charging up to these buffalo and ears out, and the buffalo actually turned tail and started moving away, and then it's almost as if it dawned on them and said, hey, hold on a minute, we're bigger than this baby elephant. So they chased the baby elephant, so it ran to mum and brought mum to the buffalo, and mum sorted them out a little bit more, and she sort of charged after them, and then that's when the buffalo decided they didn't want to stick around any longer. Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed their little bob fix, as I'm sure some of you were putting it. It's great to see him at play. He's been working out on the stick for quite a while in Gowrie Dam. It's been stalked again by the other hippo. Okay, unfortunately I think we are coming to the close of the night drive. I was just having a quick scan around just for anything else there. But there we go. So hopefully everybody can hear me. But as I say, I hope you enjoyed the drive this afternoon. I've really enjoyed it. And I say, seeing Karula again since we haven't seen her for a while, and Mishu was definitely a highlight. And seeing Bob again, it's like we're finding old friends again, which is awesome. And I'm glad we were able to share it with you guys. And I'm really glad that we're able to share it with the new people who are on board Jigger for the first time today as well. So hopefully you'll come back and see the progress of these beautiful animals that we were able to see. And maybe see something else tomorrow morning. Maybe catch up with the leopard again. Maybe find the elephants that disappeared on us. But who knows? That's what's the beauty of having live game drives. We just don't know what's going to happen. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to be saying goodnight from myself and Patrick and Kath in Final Control. And hopefully you'll join us again tomorrow morning. And if Kath can just remind me who is on drive tomorrow, so I can let you guys know as well. Okay, so Patrick's presenting tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be on camera again for a change. So do join us again tomorrow. Kath will be in Final Control again tomorrow morning. So do join us for that, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock Central Africa time. So from me for now and the rest of the crew, good night.